Player Will.
Welcome back, Visions fans. Ready Player Will here. Today is the Trials of Mana patch drop, and so we're going to talk through all the things that you have for content, for banners, for shops, and so without any further ado, the login bonuses this week. Absolutely important that you are logging in every single day here. You are getting 300 Visior up to 400 and 500 Visior per day for each one of these, as well as obviously a whole bunch of additions here for Mind Spheres and Rainbow Spheres and select tickets, things of the like. There is also some extra daily login bonuses here for the JP 26 million downloads, so definitely obviously get these at the same time. In terms of other daily activity, there is the daily purchase bonus to bring some attention to. It is pretty much what we'd expect. This is pretty usual now that every single day that you spend and get 60 paid Visior, you will get 5 Angela shards, and as you progress through the week, you will get upwards of 35 and 10 extra at the very end, in addition to some of the antlers and rainbow mind spheres. If you spend 5,000 Visior, you will get 80 Trials of Mana mind spheres and 100 rainbow scrolls. You can see I've already done that because, segueing here, we are getting refreshes in the shop of our pack H, which does tend to recur every, I don't know, month to 6 weeks or so. And so this pack H is a basically half off deal here, where for 46 US dollars you can get a fair amount more Visior than you normally would by just purchasing it at the rack rates. So obviously I do endorse these. I think these are excellent value packs for those that want to limit their spend but still get some really good value. I think this is a nice middle ground for the average gotcha spender, if that makes sense. But obviously the other things are certainly fine too. There is a special shop here that for 5 paid Viz each, you can buy these once. Absolutely recommended no matter what. This is only 25 paid Viz. You can easily get that for less than $1. So take these goodies while you can. They have honestly some pretty good stuff here in terms of the rainbow broadstones here. You have experience cubes and the like. So no need to really think too hard about that. Definitely go ahead and do it. From the collaboration shop, you do have the normal options here for character acquisition. There is a 12k paid option for Angela. You also have the 300 paid for a 10 pull, both on the Angela and Duran banners. And I'm going to talk about the Angela and Duran banners in just a second and how you should approach those. But you also have the 3k paid for the, I guess, 2 tickets of 10 pulls each. A lot of numbers there. But in addition to that, also the regular bundles here for the 2k paid, you can get 80 shards. I don't recommend these as much as of late because paid Viz obviously is a little harder to come by, but just calling out the fact that it is still there, in addition to the guild summons here. So absolutely, at least buy all the guild summons. There's really no reason not to. The purchase price of these for Gil, it's pretty cheap, relatively speaking. The rest of the shop, nothing crazy here. For the 26 million downloads, the JP app part 3, a lot of these are still recurring from where they were last week. You know, this scroll one, honestly, not awful if you're really hurting for scrolls, but not a lot of people are. But there is a very interesting one here that I think is kind of debatable on its value. For 500 paid Viz, you can get 200 select shards for a bunch of units here, and they are as recent as Ramada. So if you are looking to catch up on a recently pulled unit, I actually don't hate this value. It's really just a question of which unit are you trying to catch up on. If it's one of these top 6 units that you really just want to max, or maybe throw some extra reincarnations to, I actually think this is a half decent value, that every single day for 500 paid Viz, you can get 200 Mind Spheres, which means over the course of 7 days that this is running, you can get 1,400 shards. That's basically maxing any of these characters if you were starting from scratch. So obviously that can even go further to get you reincarnations if you're going that angle as well. I will say it's an amazing deal because obviously 3,500 paid is still rather exorbitant. But if this is a unit here that you're like, man, I really want to use them, really want to max them, this is probably the most economical way you have access to at the moment. There are just a couple other things here that are in the regular weekly recurring shop. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I mean, the daily, this is kind of whatever, take it and run, I guess. But nothing else here in terms of packs that I really think is all that noteworthy. This is stuff that you normally see on a week-to-week basis. I always recommend buying the things that cost Gil. Obviously, the Visior is a different category, but if you can filter here on the Gil, I see no reason why you shouldn't be purchasing these on a weekly basis. You can easily farm those Gil turtles up again over the weekend when you get double drop rates for Gil turtles in the far plane that this should be kind of a no-brainer also. Nothing else to really talk about in the shop per se, but I did want to talk about the banners here as well, where there's actually a lot of banners. You have two different unit banners and two different vision card banners. And the way these work, and particularly for Duran, is that there is this 10 pull that you get him for free, and that's how they give you this free unit. So once you pull Duran here, you do not need to roll on anything else for Duran and any of these other banners. You'll note there's another one down below right here. No reason to pull on this. I'm just being honest, guys. But Angela is the other unit who you can pull within this collab, and this is kind of what we're used to. There are 4-step summons for each of these units. Again, for Duran, really not necessary. If you're trying to max Duran, honestly, just buy his shards straight from the shop. There's really not a whole lot of value in rolling on the banner here. But for Angela, I do recommend use this 4-step summon first. If you don't get the unit after these 2 lap ups, then you can go back to their regular banner here and either get them here or just acquire the medals until you reach the 2,000 medals to pity them in the Mog shop. But do recommend going for the 4-step first, and then if you don't get it here, go for the other. You also have 2 vision card options, and again, being hollow vision cards, it's actually the same idea. I know there's a lot of banners here to kind of parse through, but the vision cards have their own step up banner too. And same thing here, if you're going for the vision cards, definitely do the step ups first. If you don't get them here, then I recommend reverting and going back to the regular banners. But these are a little hidden, scrolling down a little further, so don't lose sight of them. There are a couple other things to note here. One of them, and they do run these for collabs quite frequently, that for the 2K paid, you get 80 Mind Spheres for the collab and 5 URs guaranteed. This is a good value from the perspective that in that shop, acquire 80 shards for 2K paid. This banner just gives you 5 free URs in addition to some of the summon medals here, which these medals can be used in the process of pitying a unit. So I don't think this is an immensely amazing paid deal, but relatively speaking, if you're going all in on this collab, I actually might start here before I do any of the other banners for Duran or Angela, because there's a chance you might get lucky and pull one of them or the vision cards here. And if you do, then obviously you don't want to duplicate efforts pulling on the banners. So you're not missing out if you don't do this though. Per usual, they also have their own respective paid banners. These are pretty par for the course. I mean, at this point, I'm not as big of a fan of these as I used to be because they give you the option of purchasing units for 12K paid, that now that they've introduced that mechanic into the game pretty regularly, I think I'd rather just save my 12K paid to acquire a unit at a later date rather than spending the paid Visior on one of these banners. I used to appreciate the value of these a little bit more as someone who was putting money into the game, but less so nowadays. So if that's your angle, I would not pull on this anymore. A couple other small things of note. There is something very unique for this pity system here that they don't normally do, and that's the fact that the vision cards actually share a pity system here. This is usually separated, but it's the case that if you're pulling on one, maybe you get it early. You obviously have medals that you accumulated on the way of acquiring it early. That means when you go to pull on the other banner for the vision card, you can hit pity for that other vision card a lot faster if you don't get it as quickly. So this is kind of a nice consolation for people that want both vision cards, that it technically could be cheaper to acquire both because of this shared pity system. So just want to bring some attention to that. In terms of other kinds of content, in the far plane, they do have this one-time event here for the little cactus. I'll be honest, this item is actually really adorable. The little cactus is a fun character from the Mana series, but this is really for JP acquisition, job point acquisition. It's not a high priority item, but for new players or people that are really hurting for JP, this is a good item to look at for getting your units their JP quicker. Other than that, there is a collaborative story event, so absolutely play through this. I can't speak to the quality of the collab, but the fact that they did it at all, I absolutely love. This is something that we have been asking for, that when the collab drops, we actually want to feel like the collab is interactive in the game. So play through this, and obviously you'll also unlock the stages for the weapons for Duran and Angela. So you have to complete this first, and then those stages will unlock. You're also getting a new round of burst core here. So I know a lot of people are running a little bit lower on these. Absolutely complete these so you can, if not use them now, at least stockpile them to upgrade your limit breaks in the future. Very last thing here, for Chocobo Expeditions, there is a new stage, and it's the Mole Bear Moors that obviously has the shards in them for the collab units. I would absolutely recommend changing your Chocobo Expedition party to this if you are engaging in the collab at all, just so you can get those shards to build up those units. We also have limited Guild Wars starting today, so absolutely recommend making sure that you're in your formation screen. Go ahead and set your limited Guild War party here. I'm a little sad there's no cost restrictions at all here, so it's basically just whatever team you want, and that's it. I'm not a big fan of that. You guys know me. I like a lot of things about this game. I abhor limited Guild War, and this is a giant waste of time for everybody involved. What can I say? But that's everything I think there's to cover in terms of new content information. Again, if I've missed anything or spoken incorrectly, please correct me in the comment section. Put your questions, anything else you want to add. I'll definitely pin and highlight for other people to see, bring some visibility toward. But that's it for now. Good luck pulling on the banners if you are. I'll talk to y'all later.